Alright, before we begin, today's video is brought to you by my friends over at Vite Ramen, who are releasing their version 3.0 flavors. I know you guys might be wondering, heck, didn't they just have version 1.2? Where's version 2? Listen, it was such a big change, they went right to 3.0, and I can't blame them. I've been testing some of these flavors. Let me just tell you that they are amazing. You guys probably already know about Vite Ramen, but if you don't, they're a really easy way to eat healthy and live an ordinary life. Compared to other ramen, it's low in sodium, it's got lots of bioavailable nutrients, and of course, it's still delicious. As I mentioned at the beginning, version 3.0 of Vite Ramen has dropped. I'll put the patch notes down in the description. There you can get a full look at what's changed and everything that goes into making Vite Ramen noodles and flavors. I've also got a brand new Eckhart's Ladder landing page for Vite Ramen. I've got something very special in the works as well. But follow that link and you can get free chopsticks, spoons, and a sticker. Plus, use code Eckhart's for 10% off. You'll be helping not only a great company out, but also me. Anyway, on with the content. Hey guys, this is Justin. Hello, and welcome to another Book of Boba Fett episode breakdown. Now, today's video will have a ton of spoilers for episode 4 of the Book of Boba Fett, so if you haven't watched it yet, you may want to come back later. That's your warning. Let's get started. And there are two big things that I want to acknowledge right off the bat. One thing that I haven't seen a lot of people talking about is that we have quite possibly seen the very last flashback in this show, and the next 3 episodes, I don't know if confirmed or rumored that there will be 7 episodes in total, will probably all be set in this present timeline. I say that because, for one, it seems like the story in the past has caught up to where we got in The Mandalorian, and also he finished his Bacta treatments and his healing was sort of the symbolic doorway into the past. And I'm not disappointed, but I'm not especially happy about this either. Like, I like the flashback sequences quite a bit. There were some who didn't enjoy them, but I'm also happy to move forward now with whatever the present story is going to tell. So I think it'll be an interesting last episodes of the season. And yes, saying last episodes or the fact that we're over halfway does bum me out too, but I'm curious to see where the show will go. I'm pretty sure we're going to be getting a season 2. But that kind of does segue nicely into my next topic of discussion, and yeah, I will do my actual thoughts on the episode as well later on. But yeah, it seems almost certain that we will be getting the Mandalorian himself, Din Djarin, in the show next episode. And some people did miss this, I do understand it, but at the very end, when Boba Fett is talking about how he needs muscle, and Fennec Shand responds by saying, money can buy you muscle, you do hear the Mandalorian's theme. I believe that's actually the second point in the episode when you can hear it. I think you could also hear it in the flashback that showed Boba Fett saving Fennec Shand, because that was, of course, a reference to what happened in that season 1 episode. So those tie-ins are nice. We should see the character next episode, and there have also been some leaks that I'm not going to really get into in this video, which also back up that notion. Specifically, there was a leak regarding the type of ship that we could see Din Djarin in. One that I think people will go crazy for, but I'm not going to talk about that in this video. If you want to look it up, just go to r/Star Wars leaks. This ties into my prior point about there perhaps being or not being a season 2 of this show, because some have wondered whether the Book of Boba Fett is just The Mandalorian season 1.5. In other words, are we going to see at this point Boba Fett and Mando's stories converge and not become separated again? I don't think so. And part of my thought process here is because this show has spent so long to this point focusing on the backstory of Boba Fett. I think every episode so far has spent more time in the past, and this episode and episode 2 especially, the longest episodes, spent a lot of time in the past. We're still pretty far away from Boba's ultimate conflict being resolved. I don't even think we've seen the entire story yet, so I suspect that they're probably going to stick with that character, and we'll learn more about what he's doing as the show progresses into a second season. Those are just my thoughts on that topic though, and I'm wondering what you guys think, so let me know down in the comment section. Do you think this is going to drive directly into Mandalorian season 3 and the Book of Boba Fett is just sort of a stopgap, or will there eventually be a Book of Boba Fett season 2 maybe as soon as next year? Alright, let's get into actually talking about the episode though, aside from those 2 points. And I will say I saw a lot less sort of division online about the quality of this episode. It did seem like most people liked it, which kind of surprised me and had me wondering how much I really do have my finger on the pulse. I thought this episode would be somewhat disliked because of the focus on stuff in the past, but maybe because it was executed well, people weren't complaining as much. I'm not sure. Either way though, I thought this episode did a really great job of 1, developing the character of Boba Fett, and 2, putting a bow sort of relatedly on the entire backstory of the character. I I thought his interactions with Fennec were great. I like to see how not only he developed, but how she also warmed to him. And we did finally get the justification for why he no longer wants to be a bounty hunter. He's seen how the real people in charge basically screw things up for everyone else, and has also recognized that the one thing that he's been without for most of his life since his father's death, a family, is one of his biggest weaknesses. I did really enjoy how even that softer moment though was contrasted with Boba Fett just ruthlessly mowing down those defenseless bikers. It showed that, yeah, he's pragmatic and he's not outright evil, but he's also not a straight up good guy either. One thing I also really liked about this episode was just the personality, especially all of the stuff within Jabba's palace. Jabba's palace is one of my favorite locations in Star Wars because it is so wacky. It's fun. It's sort of the epitome, for me at least, of the early 80s, late 70s aesthetic that the best Star Wars stuff has. I mean, the show is trying to present us a large walking carpet choking out a lizard and have us take it seriously. That's just how Star Wars is. Anyway, within the palace, there were not only new designs like the really cool kitchen droid, but also callbacks especially to the Clone Wars we saw for the first time in live action, the little rabbit droid. And we also saw a plunk power droid, which I on Twitter called a wide gonk. Again, another animation first creation making its way to live action. These little details are doing a great job of sort of bridging the divide between what was traditionally considered the expanded universe and the main universe, and also point to a lot of care in terms of set design. But it's at this point too where I've got to recognize that this show has been playing it kind of slow for 4 episodes now. We've got 3 episodes left, and I think my ultimate determination on this series will be on the quality of these 3 episodes. These first 4 have laid a great foundation. I've been loving this show every week. I've been looking forward to it, but will there be payoff? Is there something compelling? I think bringing Din Djarin in is a reasonable way to tell an interesting story. It's a sensible connection, but I also want to see the story of the Book of Boba Fett be able to stand on its own. So it's hard to talk about this episode when it is just the 4th of 7 and the one that finished laying the groundwork, but I think next episode's review is probably going to be easily the most important and biggest of the season. But guys, that's all from me. Until next time, be safe, have a good one, and may the Force be with you.